Hey y'all, welcome back to Daydream Manor Flower Farm. I'm Dawn and I live in South Louisiana, and today we're talking about dahlias. Hey y'all, I know, I said I didn't think I would have time to get another video done before I leave, but I snuck out to come do one because I need to be packing right now because I leave shortly. But I want to talk about dahlias. It was just so crazy because I had a message, a comment about the dahlias, and then I've had like 4 or 5 messages on Instagram asking me about them. So I was like, you know what? Let me just come out here and do this real quick. I'm going to take a break from packing and let's talk about the dahlias. So just for context, last year I grew dahlias under one of my big trees out in on the outside of the field. I did them in grow bags. They got afternoon shade, so they got the morning sun, but then they had afternoon shade, and they did okay. They did well. I mean, I had to keep covering them with the organza bags because of pests, and I don't know. They could have done better. I wasn't as attentive to them as I probably should have been. Let me say that way. So yeah, I kind of neglected them. Let's just put it out there. So this year, I decided I wanted to try dahlias in the high tunnel. First year growing in the high tunnel, all about experimenting. Here's what you need to know about me is I'm never afraid to fail. I think we have to experiment to see what works in our microclimate. And when I say microclimate, I mean the climate right here on my farm. Not what happens 10 miles down the road, 25 miles away, but what is happening right here in my tunnel and in my field. So this is my first go at it. I planted 72 tubers. I bought a summer mix and an autumn mix from ADR. And then a few extra, some other, like a bag of 10 others. I did not spend a lot of money either. Because look, I was not going to go spend X amount of dollars on Cafe Olay or whoever she is to have her die in here. Because I need to see if I could get this done. So, but I did want pretty ones because I want to use them for bouquets. Now here's the first thing I will say. This is the spring. 90% of them are yellow. That is not a mix to me. When I think mix, I'm thinking, kind of a mix. I do have like 2 purples, light purples that have showed up, and then this kind of a burgundy red in this mix. I had really hoped that it would be a little bit more of the pinks and purples in here, lighter purples, and then like this darker red would be in autumn. So I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen. I planted the spring mix out the end of March, and then the fall mix was like 2 weeks later. And then some of those individual ones I bought, I think I did those at the same time I did these. So they are all about hip high, all the way down. Look. So they're all, this little grouping is a little bit shorter over here, but not by much. And those are the ones that I did, I think it was Thomas Edison, Pineland Princess, and Belle something. I can't remember right offhand. So they are a little bit shorter. So we're going to see how these are going to do. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. It is hot in this high tunnel. We are in South Louisiana. It is very humid here. We are in Zone 9. We were reclassified to Zone 9. So Zone 9 looks very different here than it does up in the PNW. Absolutely different. So today, right now, in the tunnel, it's 99 degrees. I looked at the temperature before I walked out. Now, that's the coolest it's been in the past few weeks. The past few weeks, it's been 104, 105 consistently. So there's that. Now, if I open both ends of the tunnel and get that little bit of a cross breeze, I have the sides open, it cools it off to about 101. So it's still really hot. Humidity has been a little bit lower today as well, which we're kind of basking in right now. So, yay team. So that's happening. I have 50% shade cloth on the top because, I got the Equip grant for this high tunnel. I have a video about that process, and the recommendation is 30%, but because of where we live, we went with 50%. And the place we ordered it from, that's a couple hours from our house, he was even saying, excuse me, he was even saying that most people in our area go with 50%. So I'm glad we did, because that seems to be helping. This is in a raised bed. There's no fabric down. It is a mixture of topsoil, some compost. We have clay dirt here, so there's that. But here's the other important thing is I am watering these right now 3 times a week. And I'm watering by hand because we don't have drip irrigation up. So it is time consuming. Y'all, and I'm sorry, I keep slapping at myself because mosquitoes are awful right now. They've just been terrible this year. They said because of the drought last year, the eggs that were laid, I talked to the mosquito abatement people, the eggs that were laid last year did not hatch. And then since we started getting rain, now they're hatching and the new ones are hatching. So there's like this terrible swarm of mosquitoes. And I don't want them to come back here and spray because I don't want it around my flowers. So instead I'm just going to sit here and, bop, bop. Anyway, we'll make a dance out of it later. So anyway, as soon as I get drip irrigation up, that's going to be a game changer. So it is taking a while for me to water. Here's the other thing too. They are heavy drinkers compared to my Lysianthus, compared even to my mums. These are really heavy drinkers. So I'm doing that 3 times a week while I'm gone. Mr. Daydream gonna be out here. I'm sure he'll be holding his adult beverage and watering this up for me. So that's something, if you are growing in your field or wherever, you need to make sure you are checking to make sure they are not drying out completely. I could tell the other day when I walked in here, it was like the 3rd day in a row, it was 104 in here, and they were just droopy. And man, as soon as I watered them, about an hour later, they were super happy. So watering has been an issue. It's not an issue, you just got to stay on top of it. We're going to see what happens. And I'm going to continue to kind of keep you updated on this. One of the things that I didn't do in time on a lot of them was I didn't pinch them fast enough. So a lot of them have that big, thick stem, that hollow stem that you got to be careful about. What I've read. Okay, let me say this. I am not in the Facebook groups asking for information, none of that. I am getting my information. I have 2 books that I'm reading right now currently. I am referencing Santa Cruz Dahlias. She is, the lady who wrote that book has grown dahlias for many, many, many years. In the midst of me talking, the battery pack died. So I had to go run in, grab another battery, and I don't even know if this one's fully charged. I can't really tell, but what I was saying was, when it comes to these dahlias, I am considering myself a new flower farmer, dahlia farmer, right? Because this is really my 2nd year. 1st year was just kind of playing with them under the tree. This is where I'm trying to get a little bit more serious about them. So I am looking for information from people who have been doing this for a long time. I am choosing to read a couple of books. Santa Cruz Dahlias, she's been doing this for a very long time. And so I want to learn from her. There's another book out that I think I have a 2nd book. But these are the folks that I want to learn from on how to do this. There is nothing wrong with Facebook groups for asking in Facebook groups, but here's what I have found. And I'm not as active in them as I was at one time, because when I first started growing, I was obsessed with them. And then I kind of got my feel. And so everyone has an opinion. But I encourage you to form your own and to experiment on your own. There is no harm in asking, but sometimes when you ask, you open yourself up to some folks who are just mean. I have seen a lot of that lately, and I thought it was just me noticing it, and it was so funny because the other day, Lenny Larkin, on her Instagram, actually did a post about that, about what she was seeing, and it was disturbing. And I will tell you, I have seen it from members of Facebook groups, I have seen it from moderators of Facebook groups, just being snarky. Almost, there was one the other day, and I just kind of read it, and I was like, God, you have a holier than thou kind of complex happening, sister. And I don't know where that was coming from. And I know it's very hard to interpret things when people write, right? Like you don't know the emotion behind it. I don't know. It just didn't come off well. And I like this person and I follow their farm. But I don't know. It just, it didn't sit well with me. And so I I am of an age when things don't sit well with me, there's usually a reason behind it. And if I get still and think about it, it shows itself. So I'm just being very careful about the Facebook groups that I'm in, and if I ask anything. So just be kind. And I know it's not y'all, because y'all got to be the kindest people ever. I get some of the sweetest messages from you all, and thank you for that, because y'all, life is way too long to be that crappy to other people. That's what I'm going to say. I get to choose my day, and I choose to be nice and be kind and be happy. So that's what I'm really yelling. Because if I don't get my butt back in there, I'm going to be minus some clothes halfway around the daggone world. So I got to go finish packing. I hope you all have a very wonderful week. I will see you upon my return. And when I get back, my next video, let's look at them again, because here they are right now. They're kind of cute. And we'll see what happens. Because watch all these suckers bloom while I'm gone. And Mr. Daydream going to be walking around here with his adult beverage in his hand, watering and letting them all bloom. So now I got to go teach him how to do that, how to harvest. All right, folks, have a wonderful week, and we will chat again soon.